Stop scrolling for just 1 second and listen carefully. What if I told you that the way you're gardening right now could be setting up your entire garden to die in just a few weeks? Sounds dramatic, right? But here's the truth. September is the most dangerous month for gardeners. Why? Because this is the month when people relax, thinking the hardest work is over. But in reality, this is exactly when small mistakes can sneak in and wipe out months of effort. I'm talking about mistakes so common that almost every beginner and even experienced gardeners fall into them. Now, here's the shocking part. Some of these mistakes don't show their damage immediately. They work silently, underground, or on your leaves, and by the time you notice, it's too late. But don't panic in this video. I'll walk you through the top September garden mistakes that can kill your garden fast. And most importantly, I'll show you how to avoid every single one of them. And trust me, once you know these secrets, your fall garden will not just survive, it'll thrive. Let's start with the first mistake, and it's one that almost every beginner thinks is a good thing. Mistake 1. If your plants look a little tired in September, what's the first thing you feel like doing? Most people answer, feed them with fertilizer. Makes sense, right? Plants look weak, you give them food. But here's the shocking truth in September. This helpful action is actually one of the worst September garden mistakes you can make. Why? Because fertilizer in September doesn't strengthen your plants. Instead, it forces them to push out tender new leaves and shoots at exactly the wrong time. And those fresh leaves? They might look lush today, but the first chilly nights will burn them. That's why so many gardens look amazing for 2 weeks in September, then suddenly collapse in October. Here's the fix. Skip the heavy fertilizer. Instead, use compost or organic mulch. These build soil strength and root health without triggering weak growth. So now you know, but hang on, because the next mistake doesn't just weaken plants. It spreads silent killers all across your garden. Mistake 2. Think about this for a moment. When was the last time you cleaned your garden tools? Be honest. Your garden tools could be spreading plant diseases like a dirty needle. Sounds extreme? It's not. September brings cooler nights, wet mornings, and perfect conditions for fungal diseases to explode. And if you prune with dirty shears or cut with a soil-stained spade, you're carrying those diseases from one plant to the next without even realizing it. You might see black spots on your tomatoes, sudden wilting in your flowers, or mysterious patches of rot. Most gardeners blame bad luck, but in reality, it's this simple mistake. The good news? The fix takes less than a minute. After using your tools, wipe them with alcohol or dip them in a mild bleach solution. That's it. That one habit saves your garden from weeks of damage. But here's where it gets scarier. Even if your tools are spotless, the ground beneath your feet could be the real enemy. Mistake 3. Here's a quick picture in your mind. Autumn leaves start falling, the air smells fresh, and your yard looks beautiful. But here's the hidden danger. Those fallen leaves aren't always harmless. This is another major September garden mistake, ignoring debris and letting it pile up. When leaves sit wet on the soil, they trap moisture, block airflow, and create the perfect home for mold, pests, and slugs. Your lawn suffocates. Your vegetable beds invite disease. And by the time you notice, the damage is already spreading. Now, don't get me wrong, leaves can be valuable, but they need to be managed. Thin layers can be shredded into mulch or added to compost piles where they break down safely. What you don't want is thick, soggy mats covering your soil. If you clear debris now, you're protecting your plants before the problem even begins. But here's another thing, even if your soil looks clean, the way you water right now could decide whether your plants live or die this fall. Mistake 4. September watering is the make or break moment for your garden. Here's the problem. Many gardeners stop watering as soon as the weather feels cooler. Big mistake. The sun may not be blazing, but your soil can still dry out faster than you think. On the other hand, Some gardeners keep watering like it's July. That's also a mistake because soggy soil in cooler months creates root rot. So, what's the right way? Deep watering once or twice a week? Not every day. Not every 2 weeks. Just deep, consistent watering that soaks the roots and helps plants build strong systems before winter arrives. Think of it like this: you're training your plants to be marathon runners. Give them the right hydration now, and they'll have the stamina to survive frost. Ignore this, and your plants will collapse before you even realize what happened. But watering isn't the only timing mistake in September. Let's talk about pruning. Mistake 5. Imagine this: you grab your clippers and start pruning in September, thinking you're tidying up your garden for fall. But here's the truth: this is one of the most dangerous September garden mistakes you can make. When you prune in early fall, you send a signal to the plant: grow. The plant responds with fresh shoots. But the problem is, frost is right around the corner. Those tender shoots will be the first to freeze, leaving your plant weaker than before. It's like sending someone out in shorts during a snowstorm. Instead, limit pruning in September to only dead or diseased branches. Save your big pruning for late winter or early spring when plants are ready to bounce back. Trust me, skipping unnecessary pruning now will make your plants 10 times healthier in the long run. But we're not done yet, because the sneakiest mistake of all is hiding in your soil right now. Mistake 6. Here's something most gardeners completely ignore in September: weeds. You might think they're slowing down as the weather cools, but no, they're secretly getting stronger. Their roots keep spreading underground, storing energy and preparing to invade next spring. If you leave weeds alone in September, you're giving them a 6-month head start. By the time you try to fight them next year, it feels impossible. Here's the fix: pull weeds now, before they seed. Cover bare soil with mulch so they can't make a comeback. This small effort in September saves you countless hours of struggle in the spring. Now, let's wrap this up and make sure you never forget these lessons. So, here's the recap. September is not the time to relax in your garden. It's the time to be smart. Avoid these September garden mistakes. Don't over-fertilize.
Keep your tools clean.
Don't let leaves and debris pile up. Water the right way, deep but not daily. Hold off on pruning until the right season. And don't ignore weeds, because they're planning their spring attack right now. Every single one of these mistakes has cost gardeners across the USA and Canada entire harvests. But now, you know better. And the best part? Each fix is simple. You don't need expensive products or endless hours, just awareness and a little action. So, here's my challenge for you. Which of these mistakes have you been guilty of? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's be honest and help each other grow. And if this video helped you save even one plant, hit that like button. Subscribe for more garden saving tips, because next week I'll share the ultimate checklist for preparing your garden beds before winter hits. Stick around, your garden's best days are still ahead.